So Pure actually being fended off now by Marines, so I think he's just got to back off. He's coming in with his Reaver anyway. The Reaver! Oh, I thought it was going to take out all those troops. That would have been insane from Pure, but man, I think he's pushing his luck a little bit too much. The shuttle, 3 health. Oh, he loses the shuttle and the Reaver. Like I said, pushing his luck a little bit too far. But still, he got so much damage done there. I think he might have evened out that loss by the amount of SCVs he took down. Finally getting the pylon block, so no more annoyance there for Fantasy. For Pure, rather. Fantasy coming down with a few vultures. See if he can stop one of these pylons from warping in. Might be able to do that with the vultures that he has on the ground, but a lot of observers out now for Pure, so he is prepared completely for these minefields. Very smart this time, just going out with observers in front of all the Dragoons. And now he's actually doing an attack at the 12 o'clock position, kind of came out of nowhere for him. He's going to be able to fight this back until Fantasy brings in all of his tanks. All the tanks in now, and looks like Pure not really focused. Now he is focusing on this position. Going to have to back off. He's not going to be able to push into this 12 o'clock. Even though he's continuing to hang by there, he actually has reinforcements coming up, so he might be able to destroy this 12 o'clock base if he plays his cards right. If he comes in from a different direction, looks like that's what he's trying to do, to snipe as many tanks as he can, but still losing too many Dragoons, I think. Whittling down the tank count is going to stop that push from Fantasy, so perhaps that is the plan from Pure. Just to stop that from happening, coming over, playing aggressive in the middle of the map, destroying everything that Fantasy was trying to set up. Trying to set up a turret, trying to set up a nice little defensive grid in the middle of the map so he could take his 9 o'clock expansion. And now it looks like Pure almost did a little bit of mind dragging. And now he's fighting up a hill, so he decides to back off as far as that goes. Going out with a single Dragoon to get some mine clearing at that perspective base. I think he's going to try to take that base. A lot of gateways coming up for him. Oh, he's going for the Arbiter Tribunal too, so there's going to be Arbiter build from Pure, and I think he's actually taking that 6 o'clock position too. I see some yellow dots down there, so he might be setting up to take that base. Vultures are going down to that area. Yep, the Vultures are going to stop that from happening. So Pure, he's doing some mega expand right now. He took his 2 o'clock base, and he already has that 3 o'clock up and running, just transferred all of his probes over there. And he was trying to get the 6 o'clock. Fantasy denied that from happening, and Fantasy took his own 12 o'clock position. So I think if Fantasy is competing economically, but he's got to start looking for another 4th base. I think, oh, mines dragging into the Dragoons again. So Pure, he has 2 squads of units to focus on right now, so I think that's why he lost his Dragoons a little bit senselessly down near the 6 o'clock position. So Pure got to focus on both of his squads of Dragoons. He has 2 squads of Dragoons out there doing some mine clearing and attacking all of these troops. Fantasy trying to get into position with these tanks, still being aggressive with those tanks. And no doubt Fantasy knows at this point that Pure would just try to expand, and all he's got to do is stop that from happening. Drops everywhere, tanks to the important buildings, and he should be okay. Fantasy has actually a very large army out in the middle of the map, much larger than I expected from him at this point. I guess little I Love UUV coming out in Fantasy, and he has a nice little defensive wall now that will help protect his 12 o'clock base as well. And let's see what Pure decides to do with the Arbiters. I didn't see the first Arbiter out yet, so he's not going to have energy for anything for a while, but he is getting up that second base, well, that 2 o'clock base, rather. Setting up for the 6 o'clock again, just took the 6 o'clock, so you gotta have a booming economy if Fantasy can't do something about this. And I think Fantasy will do something about this soon. He's just waiting for some more reinforcements before he tries to push out with all of his troops, because he knows he's very open to a counterattack. Here comes the first Arbiter out, going to be used to cloak, and Fantasy's trying to build a turret there to help himself with that, the detection in the middle of the map. But he does have a nice wall of tanks, and Pure decides not to push that. Not yet, anyway. With his economic advantage, he's going to be able to pump from a lot of gateways. So if you put down more gateways inside of his main, he might be able to just stomp everything that Fantasy has, especially with the 6 o'clock base coming up. With that 6 o'clock coming up, I think he's going to plop down about 3 or 4 more gateways and get prepared for the advantage that will give him. Now he's moving up a little bit, has that Arbiter, moving up with all of his troops. I think he's going for the pincer, possibly going for the pincer. He's trying to get a nice surround with all of his troops. Looking all over the place. He might actually try a recall from this position. Not exactly sure. He's going over there with his Arbiter. Yep, this is going to be a recall from him. He's going to recall all of these troops on top. And he's staying inside the middle to kind of distract Fantasy to think that he's going for the pincer attack instead of the recall. Sending in the observer first. This is smart, looking for all the places that mines might be. Where are the mines? Here comes Pure. Where is he going to? Oh, man. Where is he going to recall? It recalls right on top of the SCVs. That's the best place to recall because most likely the Terran is not going to put a mine there. I mean, if there is a recall, the mines will destroy all the SCVs as well. So kind of a bad ratio of loss to gains for him, but loses quite a few SCVs in this engagement. And now the armory, which is no doubt upgraded, a very important upgrade, going down. So Pure got a lot of damage done back here. I think he's eventually going to lose all these very, very soon because Fantasy's going to be moving out with a few tanks to clean this up. Sieging back here and scanning, so he's going to be able to get rid of all the remaining Dragoons. But still a lot of damage done from Pure in that recall. I think that was definitely worth it. Considering the amount of bases that Pure is getting up right now, definitely worth it to just keep recalling on top of Fantasy. Keep Fantasy out of the middle of the map. And Pure at this point, he is doing wonderfully, I think. Just with his economic advantage, he has a military advantage too, and he's actually pushing the troops from Fantasy, coming in with his arbiters, getting a stasis of everything. Fantasy pulling all of his vultures back. Oh, a huge stasis of all those tanks, a bunch of clumps of tanks from Fantasy in the vicinity. He's keeping all of his vultures away just so they can draw all of the fire, trying to take the high ground and protect that 12 o'clock expansion. Yeah, he's falling back to the high ground on both positions, falling back to the 12 o'clock high ground and his natural expansion high ground, so it looks like he might be able to hold this, at least for the time being. He's going to lose everything at the 12 o'clock. He's not holding the 12 o'clock high ground. Coming up with a couple of Goliaths out there as well, so he is going to be able to clean that up at least. But Pure still has troops moving to the 12 o'clock base. He's going to get a lot of damage done up there. And Fantasy saves his stasis tanks. That was his plan right there, but sacrificing all of his SCV mining at the 12 o'clock base in the meantime. And I have a feeling we're going to see another recall soon from Pure. Looks like he's grouping up troops. He probably has enough energy on one Arbiter right now to do this. Okay, another Stargate coming up for him, so he could just be pumping double Stargate Arbiters or switching into carriers. I've seen a lot of Protoss players do that on this map with varied success. Oh, man, a huge minefield. Oh, I think Pure's going to run into all of these too, but no, he has an observer out the front. Luckily, he has one observer out there. That could have been very, very, very bad. But now he's pushing up to the 12 o'clock base yet again. He's going to attack that again. Fantasy is doing the counter attack at this 2 o'clock position. Going to try to take that down.